at the tail end with y'all, and I just want to put this up for our community, the Synergy community, so you can take a look at the money laundering and the other things that this gentleman, Mike Gill, has been talking about for quite a while. And in my world of information communication technology, the different components of the money laundering that he discusses is very real, very trackable. You could even throw in other people that have talked about it, but they haven't gone into the details like Mr. Gill has. For example, the Catherine Austin Fitts interviews for the last 6 years. Oh, all this black budget money. Oh, where is it going? 20 grand for a gold toilet seat. It's not funny. Additionally, the cognitive city agenda, even the most normal people, after what happened in Lahaina and over in North Carolina, I'd like to go home. No, you don't get to go home. They just showed another clip the other day from LA, or not LA, was it LA? I think it might have been somewhere in California. They wanted to go back to their homes that had been burned out. No, you don't get to go home. Initially, they were told they could go and look through the wreckage to find anything that was left. Then they were told, no, you don't even get to go through the trash. We're going to do that for you. You have to wait until the government is there. It's zoned off. It's, too bad to go in there. You could get hurt, etc. Then they waited 6 months and they took it all. In North Carolina, with all the floods, because I'm in West Virginia, but local to me, same type of stuff. Tennessee, same type of stuff. Eminent domain. Now, we as the people that live here in the country, as long as everybody's face is fixed on these red herrings, meaning that it doesn't mean anything, it's not going to help anybody. For example, all this noise about Epstein and Diddy, those people already got away with the crimes they committed. So to have everyone focused on that isn't going to help. People don't realize that. Of course not. They're emotional. And Mike made the point that people have a very difficult time recognizing this amount of evil. Yeah, it's human, which is why for me, on my side of things, your heart is electrical. You are tethered to that cloud. You've got to deal with that. You cannot continue to pretend that they don't have a way to reach you. They have 70 years, I was going to say 7 decades of electronic warfare that is now under the skin for 50 years. And it's all biophysics and it's all sitting there. And as he was describing the senior homes and the fentanyl, my family in 2010, they were installing the visible light communication for hospice. So I come from jobs. I don't come from all this noise about, ooh, boogada boogada, look what they did. Yeah, they did it. Okay, how does that help us with this imminent domain problem? Nobody will talk about the weather warfare. We got treaties in the Library of Congress since the 70s. That's your Department of Commerce. Right now, today, all these weather control systems are part of the biosphere. So are we. Like fish in a fishbowl, the trillion sensor program has been running since the 70s, and it does it all. The Golden Dome, the different way for water and soil, and Mike brought up smart agriculture. He said, Bill Gates, China, buying up all this farmland. Oh, yeah, hardcore. And that is your Department of Commerce some more, with something called cyber physical systems. And it says human right there in the front. And that's the same system that they're using for wireless drugging, wireless healthcare, 2 days in office. Oh, we're going to take your cancer away in 48 hours. RFK, put your wearable on. How does it work? If you don't understand how your wearable interfaces with your body, are you wearing an EEG cap? Do you have pads on your chest? You got an oxygen meter on your finger? Every day you get up, you put those on. Your EEG cap, those plastic sticky things for your heart, or your EEG cap, your EKG stickers, and your oxygen meter. Nobody's doing that. But they're pulling physiological signals for 19 years professionally anyways. We as people are nothing more than the GDP, the gross domestic product. And here's where, and I know that this isn't Mike's arena, I understand that. But here's where, when he talks about the whistleblowers are very leery to get out there and, stand up for each other. Yeah, there's a solid reason for that nobody's talking about. Human augmentation, transhumanism. See, the other influencers, they're lying to people right now. They keep telling them that this system isn't here, they don't have it, and that's what makes people sit back down and wait. People go, oh, well, they don't have it yet. Yeah, they do. 70 years, yes, they do. And all this eminent domain, burn you out of your homes and then take your homes and you're screwed. They've been doing that since 2017, easily. And everybody's still just sitting here going, well, how come we can't get any accountability? Well, did anybody stand up and say no to all this crypto, etc.? No, we have a crypto czar in the White House. The Genius Act just passed. Everybody said you didn't have a CBDC. And I showed people you've had it since 2011. But nobody wants to admit the hidden system they're using and have been for 70 years. It's a huge black market of logging into human bodies and physically affecting people by their cell structure. It goes hand in hand with testing on our senior homes. In 2014, wireless drugging is part of mHealth, eHealth, and mobile health. And before you think, well, that's crazy, how long have we had pacemakers? 80s, 90s, okay? How are we affecting that pacemaker? Through the internet. 2007, Vice President Dick Cheney, disconnect the wireless from my pacemaker so they can't hack into my body. And everybody just goes, well, I don't understand. Right. Because the Agenda 2030 is already done. They're into cognitive C40 cities. They call them Liberty Cities. It's a bio-tokenized economy based on your bloodstream, the energy that you electrically put into your environment. And then when it comes to your cryptocurrency, as he's laid out the different types of Ponzi scheme mucking around, a lot of people have talked about this. They're like, everything is backed with stablecoin or crypto. And your people that worked on the blockchain with their crypto wallets, they lied too. They said, oh, we're building a big old brand new internet where we're all free. And the rest of us who come from cybersecurity, we're like, computer networking doesn't work that way. What are you doing? Lying. Then they got caught on their own Bitcoin conference stage crying, literally, screaming, cussing at the attendees of their own conference because they were government. And for the first time at their Bitcoin conference, they locked them out of their own conference for the first day because the government's like, yep, it all belongs to us. So when we as humans are not allowed to stand up for ourselves because these systems are 70 years old, jobs, that's where for me the problem is, because human augmentation has been going on for 15 years in the hotels, conferences. And everybody goes, well, they don't really know what they're doing. Yes, they do. These are jobs. And this is cognitive neuroscience. And everybody's just pretending while the youth, as I've been showing, they're going to conferences, they're networking for their careers, they're going to international conferences, colleges worldwide, working out this human augmentation with brain to brain since 2014. And we're all just still sitting here going, oh, they don't have it, it's not here. And Mike said, the window is small. Yep. So if we can't admit business and market share that our college students are working on, wide open, there's nothing hidden. That city, if you look up Cognitive City on the Wikipedia, it tells you point blank that the city structure itself has memory and communicates with every individual citizen. Welcome back to your company store, money. You will have a cryptocurrency tethered to your ability to put energy into the economy physically. Not, here's my job, here's my merit. No. That's why I get pissed off, because for me, seeing all these people give up, older people, seeing the rest of them lie and tell everybody, oh, they don't have it, it's just a fantasy, just wait on the DOJ. The majority of the people in the intelligence communities, they're augmented. or they're working on it because they want this system like years ago. They've already had it. They've been working with the body area network since the 90s, etc. So you have a ton of people. They're already augmented using all these sensor networks that run in our atmosphere, our soil, and our water. You can't tell me that after letting that go on for 15 years at the Marriott, while the truther community lied about Reptar and underground bases and made shit up, they're busy going to college. So now all of a sudden you're going to tell them, no, you can't have it? You're going to work that way. No way. So the best we can do in our small window here is stand with people like Mike and others that are talking about reality. And he said at the very end, the money and the HOW, I put that in there because that's always my thing. Tell me how. Oh, put your wearable on. How does it work? Intra-body communication. Yeah. So they don't need a wearable. No. Okay. Then if we cannot admit, because in my world it's human anatomy, nobody will admit it. They keep calling it spiritual. And I said, do you call the Department of Commerce spiritual? No. Well, then what are you doing? But everybody's used to it. And in the same way, they cannot wrap their heads around the evil, the human-to-human betrayal. So they're waiting on a deity. They're waiting on the aliens. They're waiting on, because to them, it's so far outside their control. Well, did you lie about human anatomy? Did you sit on the sidelines and let other people lie about it when it's business and industry? With all this money laundering, oh, I don't know, gee, what are we going to do? Wait until your house is burned down and you're pushed into that smart city or the cognitive city. Then eventually it will be a mega region. These things are not hidden. They're wide open in real estate with the real world assets right there on Coinbase since 2017. So we do not have the time to sit around and play tiddlywinks pretend, waiting on the same DOJ and the DOE who did this for 70 years to go, yep, we're just going to turn everything off and turn it back. Number one, they don't have that power. Number two, this is a biosphere. People are already augmented for 30 years in DC. We're not talking about Reptar. We're talking about organelle, system on a chip, OpenAI, Azure, human organ on a chip, all sorts of things. People want to feel better. People don't want to be sick. They're going to be offered bioelectronic medicine because that's what they're using. So, to the Booma Chat, thank you very, very much for being there. Thank you for supporting Mike. Booma, well done. Great interview. I only caught the tail end. I'm going to listen back now. And as always, Karen, it was nice to see you, and Coley, you too. Just remember, getting the truth out there as best you can in this window, like Mike said. Excuse me. When our children look at us later on down the line, or God, when you go to meet your Creator, don't you want to be able to say, I did everything that I could within my power? And so in the Synergy community, stop lying about human anatomy. It didn't disappear in 1910. It was on the NIH back then. They took it away so that they could do what they're doing in business right now today. The Department of Commerce is not spiritual. Neither is your liver. And with all the money laundering stuff, it was kind of interesting because it's like a trip down memory lane. Yeah, the racetrack, the different stuff with healthcare, senior citizens. Oh yeah, anybody and everywhere that is already in poverty. Because like Mike said, if they keep you poor and you don't have a way to buy food, they got you. A lot of people are suffering already in the United States, living in like their car, the rental spaces where you go and get a storage unit, they're living in the storage unit. The homelessness problem is rampant. And these technocrats and billionaires just strut around sucking up all your attention with fake lawfare. Turn them off. I don't want to hear about Epstein and I don't want to hear about Diddy. But that's how we find it. No, people like Mike Gill right there. That is how we would be talking about the real money laundering. These celebritards and all this noise, that's just to spin everybody in a circle. We don't need that. We need to talk about this cognitive city agenda as it actually stands with the Department of Commerce.
Use their terminology. Do not use terminology they red herring you with. If anybody says MK Ultra sentient world simulation, you're dealing with somebody who's playing with you. Sometimes they might not know, but most of the time they're playing with you. They all know. We found out on the back end so many times. Oh, I have no idea. Oh, I'm just so stupid. And then they got jobs, they've got resumes, and their whole effort is to make sure that you're stuck with Diddy and Epstein. A circular argument in which you have no power, no control. They already got away with it, so they're going to emotionally amp people up over nothing. Put your energy in a positive place. Help other people understand. That Agenda 2030 is already done. That cyber physical is with the Department of Commerce, and it says human. HOW. Because you had better take back your anatomy, number one. And number two, when you see people step up and go, hey, they've been doing this money laundering for a long time. Well, then shouldn't we be focusing on that? In the way of, well, we got them all, and the DOJ, we have everything. Right. But what everyone is leaving out, in my opinion, is the human augmentation and the M-Health, E-Health, and telehealth. Well, how do they get to us wirelessly? How long have we had pacemakers? Remote viewing was never what you thought it was. I know a lot of people get mad at me for that, but I'm sorry, it is what it is. Body area networks were commercially available in 1995. If we can't talk about our own anatomy, how the hell are we going to talk about our own health care, let alone what they're doing with bioelectronic medicine and all these smart city agendas? The longer we wait to have that very real conversation predicated on business, well, they're just going to fire NATO, whoever else, and then we all sit here and go, oh, woe is us, what do we do? Stand up for ourselves in any way that we can. And here in our community, that's education. So thank you, Mr. Gill. Thank you, Booma. Thank you, Booma.